confirmed double signings. Mikhail Mudryk and Joao Felix are definitely moving to the greatest club of all time, and that's Arsenal. So hello everyone, and thank you for being part of this podcast. And make a point, subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything that we definitely have to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We're always definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right about here. So guess what we're talking about today? As you already know, we are talking about transfer. We're talking about transfers of two big football players, and one is from Shakhtar Donetsk Football Club, which is in the Premier League of Shakhtar of the Ukraine Premier League, and then it will be remembered that the other one is from the Portugal side, and also he played for Portugal. He played quite well in the World Cup, gained a lot of international recognition from very many clubs, and he also will be remembered that despite all that definitely happened, he kept it calm. And however, before even going further, he had a bit of problems with his current manager, and of course, because of this and many other things, this has definitely resulted into a move to yet another club. And guess whom we're talking about? We're talking about the one and only Joao Felix. So whom should we start with? Should we start with Joao Felix, or we should start with Mikhail Mudryk? You can let us know, and we will be, as you already know, this is a fan-based channel. We can always have a chat, we can always talk, see who is best for the club, we talk about who is best for the club, who should be part of the club, who should the club be selling. Just get into the comment section. I already can see a few people in the comment section. I can see King Diamond saying, okay, thank you, King Diamond. Okay, let's start with the injury that happened that definitely triggered all this getting a little bit of panic in the Arsenal camp. And that was from the one and only Gabriel Jesus, who joined Arsenal in the summer transfer window. And you remember that Gabriel Jesus joined Arsenal in the summer transfer window, and he was coming from Manchester City, where he was playing quite well. So definitely that was a great thing. That was a good thing. It was a very wonderful signing. He didn't come on anywhere he came with other football players like Alexander Zinchenko, who's also played a big role. Alexander Zinchenko is playing a very big role, a massive role in the Shakhtar Donetsk football player Mikhail Mudryk transfer to Arsenal, because they are from the same team. They are from the same nation, and definitely that is quite something that is quite good. That is definitely something that's quite good. I can see Albert Calles. Albert Calles said, absolutely an amazing player Mudryk is. Yeah, I think he is definitely a very good one. He's a wonderful football player. He's a very good one, undoubtedly. So let's first get into deeper into Gabriel Jesus's injury. It will be remembered that Gabriel Jesus's injury could take more than 3 months, but what was anticipated, what we know, what we confirmed was 3 months, but we had from different sources saying it could even take more than 3 months. And definitely the mere fact that Arsenal is on the top of the table right about now, Arsenal don't want to be messing about with any club. That's not what they are looking at. They're not Mikel Arteta is not looking at messing up here and there with any club, like possibly giving any club a chance of overtaking them or something. As when we look at the table, when you look at the English Premier League table and you see how Arsenal has been performing, this is why the general transfer window should be taken as a weapon by Arsenal to make sure that they can get good transfers and football players who are going to maintain this position, and then after maintaining this position, possibly the title can officially be for Arsenal. And some people have been asking me about the table. I can give you the table if you interested in the table. Let me see. Some people are here. Can see. Before we go any further, let me see. I'm seeing Katumba Peter saying, I would prefer Felix because he is already proven in the top league, though Mikhail Mudryk is also a good player. Otherwise, thank you for the update. So goodness. Okay, that's definitely great. That's from Katumba Peter. And thank you for being part of the podcast. And make your point. Subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. As you already know, that we are digging deep into the transfers, talking about the transfers, definitely who's going where, who's remaining at the club. But mainly the focus today is on two football players, and those football players are Mikhail Mudryk and Joao Felix. But let's start with, whom should we start with? Who should we start with? We've been talking about Gabriel Jesus' injury and also the Premier League table, and in relation to Mikhail Mudryk and Joao Felix. So when you see Gabriel Jesus' injury played quite a lot in this general transfer window. The general transfer window is it's about, the main thing is about who can play as well as Gabriel Jesus, who can play better than Gabriel Jesus, who will help Arsenal score quite many goals like Gabriel Jesus was doing. And that was definitely something that was quite good. When he was on the pitch, he played very well. He was a brilliant player. He played absolutely well. So let's see, because when you see how Arsenal has been performing recently, I need to show you how. I need to show you the table. And you can see how Arsenal has been performing recently, and what is going on right about now, and why the Shakhtar domestic football player is definitely needed. Why is Mikhail Mudryk needed at the club? Because he's a top man, he's a good scorer, good football player, and also leaving Mikhail Mudryk alone. When you look at the likes of the other Joao Felix also, he's definitely a very wonderful and very good football player. And what is the impact of these football players? All this in the podcast today. We're definitely going to be digging deep into this. Before we go any further, let's see the table and we see how it is going to be an impact. Looking at the table, how it's going to be an impact. So you already know that Arsenal is at the top of the table with 43 points, and you can see a goal difference of 26, and you can see the points, the games that Arsenal has are 16. In 16 games, Arsenal has managed to obtain 43 points, and that's quite good. And you can see the difference between Arsenal and Manchester City. When you see Manchester City has 36 points, and the draw that Manchester City had, definitely Arsenal liked that, and Arsenal was definitely for that. That draw made quite good, made a lot of sense to Arsenal. Arsenal fans were definitely very happy about the draw that Manchester City had. And Mikel Arteta is not looking forward to making any, mistake, like any draw or loss. What Mikel Arteta is looking at mainly is making sure that he can win as many games he can. And Newcastle is also a bit of a threat because they've got quite a lot of football players in there, very good football players. They've invested in quite a lot of money. Eddie Howe has played a lot in this position that is number 3 for Newcastle. So it could be a bit challenging for Newcastle, though, because you can see Manchester United and Spurs are there. Liverpool, Chelsea also still way down. Could be a bit challenging for them. But I don't think it's going to be challenging for Arsenal. I think Arsenal is definitely sorted away from Newcastle with quite a big number of points. You can see 34 and 43 points. That's close to 10 points or something like that. So you can see the table, and the table definitely tells you that Arsenal needs to widen the gap. It's 36 and 43. And remember, you have to remember that Arsenal is going to be playing Manchester City twice. And for this to happen, Arsenal doesn't need, for this to get positive results of this, Arsenal don't need to lose on any game. Arsenal do not need to lose out on any game. Arsenal should win all the games. And how is it going to win all these games? It's by getting good players in this general transfer window, strengthening their attacking firepower, and definitely that will be quite great. So let us know in the comment section what you think about this, and make your point, subscribe and ring that notification bell, as we are going to be digging deeper into the transfers. We're definitely going to be digging deeper into the transfers, who's going where, who's remaining at the club, and not forgetting about who is the club going to be selling. Okay, so let's start with, let me see, should we start with Mikhail Mudryk, or we should start with Joao Felix? Okay, I think I'll have Mikhail Mudryk at last. Let me start with Joao Felix. So Joao Felix, you already know that he's a Portuguese football player who played quite well. Joao Felix played very well in the general transfer, in the World Cup, sorry. Joao Felix played very well in the World Cup, gained international recognition because he was playing quite well. Loads of clubs were definitely after him, and that was quite great of him, because he was playing brilliantly, he was playing quite well, very well. Then shifting from how he was playing, when you see the reason as to why Arsenal are the favourites, and Arsenal are, it's almost, I could say, done deal for Arsenal. This gentleman, Joao Felix, has always had a bit of hard time at Atletico Madrid, where he's been playing for Atletico Madrid for some time, but there's been a bit of a fight between player and manager, with Joao Felix trying to make sure that he can get more gameplay, and for some reason he didn't go, or things didn't go on quite well between him and Diego. So definitely this resulted into the management had a few meetings talking about Joao Felix and Diego Simeone, about who should leave the club and who should remain at the club. So it came out that after quite a long period of hassling between two individuals, between manager and between manager and football player, definitely the club sat down and said they invested quite a lot of money in Joao Felix. He's one of the best. If you know the biggest, he's one of the biggest investments that Atletico Madrid has ever had, and that is a big reason as to why they have been looking at selling him also and getting more money out of him, because he's a very good player. He's a very wonderful player. They would not have loved to sell him, but the fact that he had conflicts with the manager, he had conflicts with the current manager of Atletico Madrid, they had to say, no, I think your journey definitely stops here. And that comes in as an advantage for Arsenal, because this gentleman is still young and he's got quite a big future ahead of him. Joao Felix has got a great future ahead of him. You can see how he's been playing. If you've seen him playing, I think Atletico Madrid do not realize what they have got. I think Atletico Madrid do not realize the football player that Joao Felix is. Joao Felix is one of the best attacking midfielders that you can ever have. And the very fact that this gentleman is versatile, the fact that this gentleman is definitely one of the best attacking midfielders. When it comes to midfield, he is definitely a very wonderful one. Midfield. So you can see on rare occasions, this gentleman can play as a defensive midfielder. When things aren't going on quite well in his club, he plays as a defensive midfielder. He's not the kind of football player who will see things going wrong in the defense section and he's not bothered. He will go when it comes to playing defensively. A defensive game, he's perfect. He's a very wonderful one. And then central midfield, he's definitely a very wonderful one at central midfield. He knows how to handle the ball control, dribbling skills are definitely on point. He's definitely a very wonderful one. He's a very good one to have. And then leaving that alone, And then when you look at attacking midfield, Joao Felix is a beast when it comes to attacking midfield. That is definitely his game. It is his game. When it comes to attacking midfield, Joao Felix, that's his game. He plays quite well, plays brilliant games. Attacking midfield, he plays definitely quite well, and that's definitely quite good of a football player like him. So the technical, remember that the technical director of Arsenal, Mr. Gaspar, now the sporting director, gave this gentleman a mention in the summer transfer window that was concluded. He already wanted to get him for Arsenal in the summer transfer window, but things didn't go on as planned. Things didn't go on quite well. We hoped and expected that possibly he could have him in the summer transfer window because he's, for some reason, is been looking for this gentleman, making sure that this gentleman can join Arsenal, but he's not been successful for a very long period of time. So I think that has been a great thing for Arsenal. Arsenal have tried, they've tried and tried and tried on getting this gentleman, and now it's green lights for Arsenal. Green lights for Arsenal as this gentleman, Joao Felix, as Joao Felix has showed green lights, told Arsenal management that if you want me, I'm ready. I'm definitely more than ready if you need me. There is nothing that will stop you from having me. And that's quite a great thing for a club. That's definitely a great thing for a club. And when Stan Karionki and also Josh Karionki were contacted about this transfer, about Joao Felix signing for Arsenal, they were quite supportive. They were definitely quite great. They were supportive of this. They said a few things about this. They said it will be a great thing for for him to come to the club. And the most important thing was, or still is, they are willing to inject in the money. At first, uh, Stan Kroenke and Josh Kroenke had said that Arsenal will just only have £50 million in this January transfer window. But things definitely turned quite well for Arsenal. It was a blessing in disguise just by the look. When you see, it was a blessing in disguise because when you see how this gentleman, what happened actually, when you see what happened about what happened with Gabriel Jesus. The fact Gabriel Jesus had an injury that definitely meant that the £50 million they were thinking about issuing to Mikel Arteta in the general transfer window was definitely nothing. It was nothing. It was just little money. If Arsenal want to take the English Premier League trophy, that definitely means that a lot of investment in this general transfer window is something that is needed. Big investment is needed in this general transfer window, and the big investment is Mikhail Mudryk and Joao Felix. The £50 million was definitely nothing at all. It was a little money for the general transfer window. It was a blessing in disguise because even after the injury, after the 3 months injury, after that, uh, Gabriel Jesus will return on the pitch, and that will enhance the attacking firepower of Arsenal. And definitely, Arsenal will be a greater squad with all these options. And that's what Arsenal is looking for. That's what Arsenal should be doing, having different options and having better options. Having better options, that is definitely quite great. So let us know what you think in the comment section so that you do not miss out on anything that we have to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right here. Do not forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss it on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. So you definitely can see that Joao Felix joining Arsenal will be the greatest thing. It will be the greatest thing for Arsenal. Will be the greatest signing for Arsenal because Joao Felix is a way good football player. For those of you who watched the World Cup, you can tell the difference between Joao Felix and other football players. Joao Felix was definitely a very wonderful one. He played quite well, always on point, made minimal mistakes when he was playing, and that was quite good of a player like him. That was definitely the best thing that he could do for his team. So I think Portugal wasn't advantaged. There was a bit of things that didn't go on quite well, as many people said. Possibly one of the reasons as to why Portugal didn't perform quite well was because Cristiano Ronaldo was playing. But I think Cristiano Ronaldo is a great football player, but also he's old, so he needed to let these young football players also get to the game and play and show. The likes of Joao Felix couldn't exercise to the maximum because of his presence. And those were some of the comments that came in from the football fans. But Joao Felix, once given the opportunity, once given first team football, ensured that he gets first team football. I think he's a great football player, and he's going to be a great signing for Arsenal. Let us know what you think in the comment section about Arsenal. About this general transfer window, if you think Arsenal is going to be the best thing that the best club when it comes to transfers, let us know. It will be remembered that do not forget, it will be remembered that Mikhail Arteta, the combination of Mikhail Arteta and Edu Gaspar is something that you should trust. You should trust the combination of Mikhail Arteta and Edu Gaspar, because these two, what they have signed before has always proved that they know what they are doing. What they have signed before, look at the signings. Gabriel Jesus is coming in. He's played very well, extremely well. Look at Marquinhos, still young and definitely a very wonderful football player. Undoubtedly, Marquinhos is a very good football player. Then, leaving Marquinhos alone, leaving Marquinhos aside, it will be remembered that more football players that they have signed, the likes of Alexander Zinchenko from Manchester City, he's been playing very well. Fabio Vieira been playing absolutely well. There's nothing much you can say. There's nothing that you can say about Fabio Vieira, and there's nothing much that you can say about Fabio Vieira. He's definitely a good person. He's a very good good football player. Absolutely, always on points. When you talk about mistakes, he makes minimal mistakes while on the pitch, and definitely that's quite great. That's definitely a great thing. So, Joao Felix is definitely a wonderful one, a great football player, and I think it's going to be quite great. I think it's going to be quite great for Arsenal. So, leaving Joao Felix alone, now I think we need to dig deep into Mikhail Mudryk, who is the big man, Mikhail Mudryk. And for some time now, Mikhail Mudryk has been linked to Arsenal. Lots of people have been talking about Mikhail Mudryk and him joining Arsenal, whether it's going to be possible, whether it's not going to be possible. I've got everything in this podcast today. All you need to do is to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss it on anything that we've got to bring to you. As you already know that we are heading into what you need to know, all you need to know about the Mikhail Mudryk transfer and what's happening. What's the truth about Mikhail Mudryk? Definitely, if you've not shared this video, it's time you can share this video. Tell a friend that if they need any Arsenal news, this is the channel they can get it on. So let's dig deep into this. And we see how we will go. So Mikhail Mudryk. You will remember that Mikhail Mudryk is a Shakhtar Donetsk football player. A very good football player, a very wonderful football player, undoubtedly. With no doubt, he is a marvelous football player. He's a very wonderful one, a very good, great football player, I must say. So the mere fact that he's played quite well before, and when he's been in the Ukraine Premier League, where he's been playing for some time, he's been playing for Shakhtar Donetsk in the Premier League, and it came out that he was the best football player in the Ukraine Premier League. He was given the award in that raised quite a lot of concerns is clubs like Barcelona started eyeing him. Clubs like Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, all of them contacted him. But there is a reason as to why he rejected these clubs, and Arsenal are the favorites in this. Why? Everybody's asking, why could why could a football player like Mikhail Mudryk, so good, reject a club like Paris Saint-Germain for Arsenal? So the first thing, this gentleman has always looked for first team football. He has always talked about first team football. He wants to play first team football, and that's quite great for him. That's definitely quite great for him. The first thing that Mikel Arteta did, he ensured this gentleman that once you are at the club, once you come to Arsenal, you're definitely going to get first team football. That is definite. You're going to get first team football. So that was a red flag for almost the other clubs. All the other clubs, that was definitely a red flag for them. Because they were nowhere, some of them were not sure about first team football, but Arsenal was definitely sure about first team football. They had a great pay because when Stan Karionke and Josh Karionke had a meeting with Mikel Arteta and not Stan Karionke, Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar. There was a meeting of four, Josh Karionke, Stan Karionke, and then Edu Gaspar and Mikel Arteta. They had a meeting and talked about the general transfer window where they put on table their dissatisfaction of the 80 million pound that was not 80, sorry, 50 million pound that was being given to them. And they said that was definitely quite little money for the general transfer window because they were eyeing two big players and even other younger football players also. But the main concern was about two wonderful football players, and that's Mikhail Mudryk and Joao Felix. And now, when these were in a meeting, they had a talk and seeing how possible will this be? How possible? How good are these football players? Is it worth getting the football players, or it isn't worth getting them? So Stan Karionke and Josh Karionke had nothing to say about the money because they had to give up the money. And what they said the general transfer window will be sorted. Arsenal can get the football players they want. And Mikel Arteta said, if you need results, you also need to invest. You need to invest if you need results from me. That's all he said to Stan and Josh Karionke, who are the owners of the club. So, because at the end of the day, Premier League title is what Arsenal is looking for, and the Premier League title won't do Josh Karionke any bad, and neither will it do Stan Karionke any bad. They'll be happy about it because it will mean it will definitely mean quite a lot. It will be quite a lot. It will mean much more. Anyway. Israel is asking, are those guys really going to Arsenal? Okay, thank you, Israel. I'll be answering that. I just follow up. Going to the comment section. If you have any question, make your point, subscribe, ring that notification bell. As you know, we can always have a talk right here. As you already know that we definitely are in the general transfer window. Officially, we are in the general transfer window, and everything is possible right about now. Everything is definitely possible as we're talking. So, we're still talking about Josh Karionke, Stan Karionke, and then Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar in a meeting about he's a Ukraine football player and also a Shakhtar Donetsk football player who has been playing quite well of recent, very well. So definitely they were told because, and it makes sense, it really makes sense, because if you definitely need results from a person like Mikel Arteta, then you've got to invest in money. And what Mikel Arteta is asking, he's not asking for Erling Haaland, no. He's not asking for Kylian Mbappe, no. He's not asking for big players. That's not what he always wants. He always wants young football players, develops the talent, makes the talent good. You can see it's a young football squad that Arsenal has, and that's why I think Arsenal is definitely enjoying the fruits. That's why Arsenal is enjoying the fruits of hard work and also good decision making. You can see it's a young squad that is doing very well, brilliantly. Bukayo Saka, Eddie Nketiah. You can see whoever is in the Arsenal team, still young and promising. William Saliba sorting their defense down there. So once Mikhail Mudryk joins Arsenal, once he's settled in quite well, I think we'll say rest in peace. Definitely will say rest in peace. Who? Manchester City. I don't think Manchester City will have any. I don't think Manchester City will have any chance in this. Sorry. I don't think Manchester City will have any chance in this. No, I don't think so. Because when you see how Manchester City has been performing recently, it's not performing the way it should be. It should be. It's not the Manchester City that we've known recently, and that gives Arsenal a great advantage, very big advantage. That gives Arsenal a great advantage, a very big advantage. And I think it will be a great thing. It will be a very wonderful thing because if they lean back, if they lose a game, I'm telling you, if Manchester City lose one game and they draw one game, they are done. Manchester City is definitely done. If Manchester City, because it's the current threat to the Premier League title that Arsenal is eyeing right about now. 90% Arsenal is getting this Premier League title. But if Arsenal, not Arsenal, if Manchester City, if they do not play quite well, if they lose one game and draw once, that will be the end of them for the Premier League title. I'm sorry, they'll have to say goodbye. They'll definitely have to say goodbye because when you look at the current performance, when you look at how Arsenal has been performing of recent, Arsenal isn't losing it's not losing any game. It's not losing any game. No, Arsenal is not giving any club any chance of beating them, not making any mistakes. When it comes to the defense section, the defense is sorted, midfield sorted, striking sorted. But it's not enough. The likes of Mikhail Mudryk also add something to the club. The likes of Mikhail Mudryk make the club even much better. So when these two football players come together, when Joao Felix and Mikhail Mudryk come together, if they join the club, that will definitely be a great thing. So one of the reasons as to why it's been quite easy for Arsenal to get into this transfer, things are easy for Arsenal between Mikhail Mudryk and Arsenal. It's been quite easy because the first thing, Mikhail Mudryk is an Arsenal supporter. He follows every game. That Arsenal plays. He's been a supporter of Arsenal ever since he was young. And definitely that was something that helped Arsenal a bit in getting him, because sometimes you have to talk to the agent, convince the agent to convince the player, tell them this, tell them that, but it's not been the case. It's been quite good. It's been quite good, nice and good. Let us know what you think about this transfer, and make your point, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you don't miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sporting, as long as it is Arsenal related. Anyway, let's definitely see. We need to see how people who were still asking me about the table, you can have you can see the table and see. But so if you see where Arsenal is and why Arsenal needs these signings, why Arsenal definitely needs these signings, because there is a bit of competition in there. You can see that there is a bit of competition in there. So let's see. You can see the competition that is in there between Arsenal and Manchester City. So I think that will be great. That will definitely be great if they can buy these football players and possibly you can have if they buy these football players, that there will be quite good competition in there. Okay. I think you can see, and so Mikhail Mudryk will be a very wonderful one. I think he will be a great one. He will be a great one. Uh, he will definitely be a great one, a great football player. And there is nothing that is going to stop Arsenal from taking the Premier League title if they have these two gentlemen. That will be quite great. That will definitely be very, very wonderful. Let us know where you're watching from, which part of the world you're watching from, which part of the country you're watching from. We're live from the United Kingdom. Just make your point, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on anything that we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We definitely dedicated, as we have been talking about. We've been talking about Mikhail Mudryk and also Joao Felix. These two wonderful football players, very great football players, very good forwards, and ruling out Gabriel Jesus for 3 months. For 3 months, that definitely means that quite a big investment is something that was needed. A big investment is needed to happen at Arsenal, because that is something crucial. That is definitely crucial. It's going to be quite good for Arsenal. Having options, having better options, having good options. I think that will be a great thing for Arsenal. That will definitely be quite good for Arsenal. With Mikhail Mudryk, with everything set for Mikhail Mudryk to join Arsenal, everything is done. A medical has been scheduled for this gentleman to join the club, and personal terms have already been agreed. Mikhail Mudryk is, I could say it's a deal that is done, sealed, confirmed, and dusted. There is no reason whatsoever as to why Arsenal is not going to sign this young gentleman. He's a perfect football player, a very wonderful football player. One, I can see Richard Lambe saying, watching from Dublin. Thank you, Richard Lambe. Thank you. Thank you for being part. Then I can see someone there, Namucha Clinical Center, something like that. I want to know the shirt number Mikhail Mudryk will be putting on. It is said that Mikhail Mudryk is most likely going to be putting on shirt number 20. That's what has been said. That's what is in the news. That's what everybody say. Shirt number 20 from different sources. Shirt number 20. If you've got a question, I'm ready to answer. We can always have the chat right here. Let me see. I'm saying again. Richard Lambert saying Arsenal can win the league. I think so. I think there is big chance. There is big chance for Arsenal to win the tie, or to win. There is big chance for Arsenal to win this. A very big chance. There is definitely a very big chance for Arsenal to win. I think it can win. There is definitely a very big chance, very big chance for Arsenal winning. Arsenal isn't taking anything for granted, no? It's not taking anything for granted. They're playing very well of recent, playing brilliantly, and I think that's quite great of them. That's definitely very good of them. So I think Arsenal, by the way they are playing, they should be capable of taking the Premier League title. They should be capable of taking the Premier League title. And if they make, if Arsenal make these transfers, that will be great. That will be definitely great. A lot more football players. They can get a lot more football players in there. much better football players, leaving even alone Joao Felix and Mikhail Mudryk. They will definitely be much better if they have more football players than they already have. If they have better football players, they can balance in between there and see whom they can sell and not. Anyway, right about now, I think if I say goodbye, I would not have done bad. Just what you need to do, because we're always live. Make it a point to subscribe. Please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you. As long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, we will always be the first people to bring it straight as it is. Do not forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you. As we tell you, thank you for being part of this podcast. It's Arsenal Diehards. Make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you. If you like Joao Felix coming to the club, you can give us a thumbs up. If you like Mikhail Mudryk coming to the club, you can also give us a thumbs up, and we will definitely know that you want Joao Felix to get to the club or you want Mikhail Mudryk. And if you're for both of them, you can also give us a thumbs up, and that will be great. As I sign out and I tell you, thank you for being part of this podcast, and make a point, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss it. Whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is Arsenal related. As we go, thank you and goodbye.